Well, back with my pack. Now, following our earlier debate about Ukraine, some very sad breaking news. It's just been confirmed that two British men who were volunteering in Ukraine, Chris Parry and Andrew Bagshaw, have been killed. They were reported missing in January. Mr. Parry's family confirmed tonight they were both killed while assisting a humanitarian evacuation. And if that doesn't toughen our resolve in this country to do whatever we can to help Ukraine win that war, I don't know what would. Well, coming next, I'm joined now by the Times royal correspondent and author of Courtiers, The Hidden Power Behind the Crown, Valentine Lowe, plus our pack is still here, Ann Widdecombe, Richard Tice and Paula Rhone-Adrien. So, Valentine, you're over in America at the moment with promoting your book. Fascinating piece in the New York Times has just come out. Headlined, Has Prince Harry's confessional tour run its course? Even in the United States, the New York Times says, which has a high tolerance for redemptive stories about overcoming trauma and family dysfunction, the tide seems to be turning. It's one thing to be criticised, it's another to be openly ridiculed. That's pretty heavy coming from the New York Times.
It is, because they would be very much on Harry and Meghan's side. But one does sense that, well, there's still, quite a strong bedrock of opinion in favour of them, that they are less popular than they were over here. And, there's only so much moaning that you can put up with, isn't there?
Right. I completely agree. I mean, how do you keep doing it? Where is it? Where can they go? They've trashed all their family repeatedly. There's no one left to trash. What about Prince Andrew? What impact is all his scandal having? Does it really resonate in America in the same way, even though it arguably is a lot more serious?
I don't think it does quite in the same way, because it's sort of not really an ongoing soap opera, is it? The good thing about Harry and Meghan is there's such a strong narrative drive there, isn't it, to keep everyone interested. Whereas Andrew, he's just a mess who messed up and sort of covered himself and the family in shame. But it doesn't really go anywhere.
Do you think either of them, Valentine, will be at the coronation, either Prince Andrew or Harry and Meghan?
I suspect Prince Andrew will be. I think the King will invite him, and he, if invited, he'll definitely be there. I think in terms of Harry and Meghan, I think they'll certainly be invited because for King Charles not to invite his son would really be seen as sort of petty and vindictive and not in the spirit of reconciliation.
I wouldn't invite one of my sons if they'd done that to the family. I can tell you. They'd be absolutely NFI.
That's why you're not king. That's why you're not king, Piers.
Well, at the moment, Valentine, at the moment, stranger things have happened. Richard, the royals, the coronation, it is a soap opera, but they're real people. We're hurtling towards the coronation in a few weeks' time, in early May. What's he going to do, Charles, about his brother? Now in the headlines again because of the Ghislaine Maxwell interview with Harry and Meghan, his son, trashing all the family.
It's very easy. He has to retain the moral high ground. Of course he has to invite all his family. Whether or not they attend, I suspect that Valentine's right. I don't think Harry and Meghan will attend. I think backdoor channels will say, please stay in America.
Why invite them? I mean, I don't care.
Because you've got to retain the moral high ground. You're king. You're bringing people together. You're leading from the front, a whole nation, and just don't stir the pot. Whereas I suspect Prince Andrew, he will attend and be sort of stuck on the back row.
Paula, the resident defender of all things Meghan and Harry, I mean, why, if they hate the royal family and the monarchy so much and trash the institution and cause such damage to it? All right, whatever you want to call it.
Stop saying the word hate.
Right.
No one has suggested that hate is relevant in this issue.
Given they've caused so much damage to the institutional reputation of the monarchy, why would they want to be at a coronation of a new monarch?
Given the fact that they have raised difficulties that they have had...
Well, they said the royals were racist then, so we didn't mean to say they were racist.
That's what we're talking about, the problems that they have raised. Let's be clear about that.
They lied.
And the problems that they have raised are really serious issues.
They lied.
Mental health issues, issues around domestic abuse, issues around race and colour and prejudice.
Why do you believe them?
But it's not about whether I believe them.
Why?
It's not about
whether I believe them. Without any proof.
What it's about is that they think it's true. And what you need to understand is...
No, of course it's not, Paula. It's got nothing to do with whether they think it's true.
Something's either true or it's not.
Thank you, Ann Widdecombe.
true or not?
If that was the case, then I wouldn't be in a job.
What?
The fact is, your truth may not be my truth.
No, there's only the truth.
How you define
Paula, there is no my truth. Your
You and
truth.
I may, you and I may interpret things differently, but there is a factual truth.
Paula,
and it will be very different to the two of us. That doesn't mean that either of us are wrong.
Hello.
I know, and I'm choosing to ignore
It's my show. It's my show, and I'll cut off your mic in a minute. Here's the bottom line. There is no my truth, your truth. There is the truth.
One truth.
And you know what really got my goat about those two? Was the two most damaging things they said in that first Oprah wine-a-thon were that the royals have been racist to them about the skin colour of their son, and that secondly, Meghan Markle had gone to a senior palace person who had banned her from getting help for her suicidal thoughts. Neither of those things appear in his book. He's already reined back now on the racism charge, said that's not what he meant, when we all know that's exactly what they meant. They said it. We watched them say it. And secondly, Richard, on the mental health thing, again, a very big weapon to hurl at the palace, that they were callous about her suicidal thoughts. Not a word has been mentioned since. Nothing in the Netflix documentary, nothing in the book. I don't think it happened. And I had to leave my last job for not believing it.
How can Harry have therapy, but she not have therapy?
She had a therapist on speed dial.
Unless he didn't think that she deserved it. I mean, the whole thing's a complete nonsense. You just can't trust any of it, Paula.
The Queen summed it up, though, didn't she, when she said that memories may differ.
Recollections
may vary, but still only one truth.
That's the Queen's way of saying they're lying.
So what happens is, when you have a situation where somebody is in pain, where you say something that you do not consider to be insulting, where you do not consider to be hurtful or in any way intentional even, but that doesn't mean that the other person doesn't take it that way. That doesn't mean that the other person doesn't leave that discussion and be pain and feel that that's what's happened.
We're talking about them going on Oprah Winfrey and calling the royal family racists, and then 2 years later, after all the damage of that race charge against the royal family, and they never named the racist, Harry now says, we didn't say anyone was racist. The evil British press, who are responsible for everything in Harry's world, they made it all up.
He's technically right. They didn't say that.
No, he's
they didn't say that,
he's a
did they? They didn't say the words,
Oh, come on.
Richard?
He could have rose back from it the following day.
That's a different topic. That's a different
It's the same topic.
Was there a nuance there that people were led to believe?
Paula, have you always defended the indefensible? Was it a new trait of yours? And that's your new filibuster technique. You basically keep talking.
Stop digging.
Anne.
Yes.
What do we do about the royals?
Well, first of all, I do not think that Harry and Meghan should be at the coronation.
No.
For one very simple reason.
If they're there,
if they're there, they then become the story.
And they'll be taping everybody.
And heaven knows, private conversations, the royals will be very uneasy. So I do not think they should come to the coronation. I don't think it matters whether Andrew's there or not, because I rather think that he also, he will just be in the background and there'll be a comment.
I agree. He won't try and take the attention.
He's not going to take all the cameras.
I wouldn't trust, if I were the royal family, I wouldn't trust the Sussexes as far as I could throw them.
Piers, if there's to be reconciliation, it takes time.
You don't get reconciliation by releasing a 410-page book trashing your family.
He's not the first one to release an autobiography.
Paula, we've run out of time.
He's not the first.
But you know what? We can continue this. You can come back again, because I like the new Paula. It's irritating, but I quite like it.